Happy New Year. Let's give another round of applause to the Waterville High School Jazz Band Ensemble. Thank you and welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here, where we celebrate Waterville and the inauguration of our city leaders and our 53rd Mayor, Nick Isbrow. Before we get started on this very cold night, please help me give a warm welcome to some members of our audience. We have our Maine State Representatives, Henry Beck and Thomas Longstaff. State Senator Scott Searway. Former mayors in our audience, we have Paul Laverdia, Dana Sennett, Tom Nail, David Bernier, Albert Bernier, and Don Martin. We also have our city councilors, Fred Stubbert from Ward 1, Rosemary Winslow from Ward 2, Karen Rancourt Thomas from Ward 7, and John O'Donnell from Ward 5. And school board member Tiffany LaLiberty. Leading us in our invocation tonight is going to be Pastor Alan Imes from the New Beginnings Church of God.
Let's pray. I pray for each school board member, each councilman, and Mayor Nick Isbrow, that they would seek favor from you to govern and serve this great city. That they would stay focused on what is best for our city to propel us forward, morally, economically, socially, and educationally. That under their leadership and your headship, Lord, our city would rise to the occasion of being one of the key cities in Maine for economic development, education, innovation, strong values, and safety. That you would do exceedingly abundantly above what we can ask or even think. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Our national anthem will be performed by Sound Check from the Waterville High School Select Chorus, led by choral director Kiera Hargrove. Please stand. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Carl Parody from our American Legion. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I am very happy to introduce Waterville's Mayor, Karen Heck.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you, Nick, for asking me to be a part of this inauguration. So the question on many of your minds, no doubt, is how did a progressive feminist like me come to endorse a conservative Republican like Nick? Come on, admit it. Well, there are a number of reasons, and it's the same question people were asking Charlie Gauntz when he endorsed me. The primary reason is because all of us care deeply about Waterville, and we have a great respect for each other. That's the beauty of politics on the local level. It's about relationships, about working together regardless of ideology, and choosing to work with people you trust and respect. It's not about name-calling and negative campaigning, because on the local level, it's hard to get away with acting that way and not ruining your own credibility. While I initially did not think I would endorse anyone to succeed me, I changed my mind after spending time talking with Nick about his goals for the city. While I don't endorse his vision for the nation or the world, those are not things over which the mayor of Waterville has much impact. I do endorse Nick's local vision because of his interest in, his understanding of, and his dedication to making Waterville a place in which he and Amanda want to raise their children. He knows it's important that we continue our quest to ensure we have a city with vibrancy and a positive attitude, with an environment that balances the needs of small businesses, families, and the community. And he understands that the nonprofit institutions here are partners in our efforts to create the city we desire. When I took office, I said I had a list of projects on which we needed to work. They included revitalizing the airport, lowering our energy costs, rethinking, reducing, recycling, and reusing our resources, filling up or taking down empty buildings, fixing the roads, marketing the city and what it has to offer, and expanding the tax base. All of those projects have been started, and I trust that Nick will keep us focused on continuing to work on them. And I would suggest that we all have a role to play in helping him. Nick, in his role, will be a good ambassador for the city because he has a positive outlook and he understands why that's important, why it's an important characteristic to have. He will be a good advocate for the city's needs. He understands the critical importance of revenue sharing, and he's willing to take that message to the governor and the legislature. He will help create effective solutions to city issues because he is smart, thoughtful, willing to listen and learn, and because he knows that working together is much more effective than grandstanding. I'm hoping he's also able to get by on very little sleep, because I didn't have a full-time job nor 4 children in addition to my role as mayor, and I can say I was pretty exhausted at the end of my 3 years. So what's your role in making the city even better? I hope the role you all will choose to play will involve helping market the city by acting as ambassadors for Waterville, by shopping locally, by offering constructive suggestions to the problems facing us all, and by being willing to get involved in solving them. As for my role, I'll still be involved in what's going on, particularly in working to make sure our kids have the best start in life, because our economic future depends on that. And I'll continue promoting the city as a great place to live and work, because when I'm ready to downsize, I want to be able to sell our house for what it's worth. And I'll still be making sure you know what I think, because the Sentinel has asked me to write a regular column. Now, don't hold that against them. I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to serve this city and to tell you how much I appreciate all of you and those who have stepped up to help make this city one we are all proud to call our home. Thank you, and much congratulations and good luck to our new mayor.
Our oaths of office will be performed by our award-winning city clerk, Patty Dubois.
Thank you, Councilor Boucher. I would invite the incoming Board of Education members to please stand, Susan Reisert, Marion Bernier, and Elizabeth Bickford, for your oaths of office. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mary
Do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent upon me as a member of the Board of Education for the City of Waterville. Thank you. Congratulations. I would now ask incoming city councilors to please stand. Nathaniel White, Sidney Mayhew, and Dana Boucher. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dana Boucher,
Do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent upon me as a city councilor of the City of Waterville.
city of Waterville.
Thank you. Congratulations. Honorable Nicholas Israel, please join me at the podium. The records show that you have been elected mayor of the city of Waterville. Are you prepared to take upon yourself the oaths required for performance of that duty?
I am.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me, and then subscribe the oaths provided by the Constitution of the state. I, Nicholas Israel,
I, Nicholas Israel,
do swear
do swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so long as I shall continue
so long as I shall continue
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, Nicholas Israel,
I, Nicholas Israel,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully discharge,
that I will faithfully discharge,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
the duties incumbent upon me
the duties incumbent upon me
as mayor,
as mayor,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of the state.
and laws of the state,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I'm very happy to introduce our 53rd Mayor of Waterville, Mr. Nick Israel.
Thank you all very much for coming tonight. Thank you for being here and being a part of this great moment, not just for myself, but for all of those that were sworn into office tonight. I do want to thank Amanda Essler for organizing this, and everybody who was involved in the ceremonies. And I want to offer a special thanks, not just on behalf of myself, but on behalf of the city, to Mayor Karen Heck. Whether we agree on every issue or not, there is certainly no doubt to anybody that you love this city and you have a passion and you have worked tirelessly for 3 years. And I just want to say thank you. This is a very surreal moment to stand here, and I can't help, as I was trying to think about what it was I wanted to speak to you about, to think of some of my own family history and what it was that made me want to run for mayor in the first place. My mother's grandfather came to Waterville many years ago, and with little to no English on his lips, founded A.J. Carey and Sons, and along with my grandfather John, built many of the homes that our friends and neighbors still live into today. My grandfather John went on to serve the city of Waterville's code enforcement officer. On my father's side, my grandfather, Salvatore, as most people knew him, Sam, moved here in 1960 as part of a promotion with Scott Paper Company, and with him he brought his wife and 5 children, soon to be 7, all of whom graduated from Waterville High School. And I'm fortunate enough to live in the house that he built for them with my wife and 4 children today. He went on to serve the city as city councilor, and his son, my father Jim, served the city on the city's planning board. And we know he must have been quite young at the time because he served as a Democrat. I kept thinking of these stories, and not because they are somehow special or make me special, but the reason I kept thinking about them is because these are Waterville stories. These are the stories that as you go around the city you hear in every ward and every neighborhood. And throughout the decades, people move here and find something that they love and hold on to. And with that, I do want to break a little bit, and I just want to read to you an excerpt from a letter that was recently found and given to me. And this was an open letter to the aldermen and city councilmen. It says, I don't think that anyone can dispute the fact that possibly all of the properties from the bridge of the Wyandotte could be purchased at a fraction of the cost of the property located at the proposed Charles Street project. A more important consideration is the loss of tax base would be very little compared to the $2,025,000 that we will lose as soon as the buildings are purchased through URA. Another reason, and the most important, is the human consideration. For less families and only a few businesses would be displaced, it is questionable whether the businesses would have to move. I fully realize that this plan is not as large in scope as the Charles Street plan, but I have never been aware of a rule that a big problem requires a big and drastic plan. I have been in business a few years and often have seen great problems solved by small changes. Why jeopardize the present tax base on a plan based on assumptions? I urge you to vote no to this plan. Respectfully yours. And this was written by my grandfather Sam in January of 1963 to the council here in Waterville. And so in there what we see is that the issues that we face and we talk about and we debate are not unique to the time that we live in. And although we are in a new century where perhaps the solutions of yesterday don't apply today, the issues of progress versus taxes and the balancing of homeowners and commercial development are so fundamental to the building of this community, it would be naive not to view ourselves in a historical context. With that context today, we see new businesses opening on Main Street and elsewhere, people taking a chance on Waterville for the first time. We see existing businesses that have made it through some of Waterville's toughest decades, and although they look different today than they did 40 or 50 years ago, they've applied new technologies and strategies. That said, we also know that our manufacturing base remains decimated by forces far beyond the city limits. We see new families moving to Waterville and bringing new life to the community, but we also see dozens of for sale signs as people need to look elsewhere, perhaps for better paying jobs or simply a more affordable place to live. And so we do have our challenges, and as we try to come up with new solutions for a new time, and in a time that the mandated portion of the revenues that we generate remain under attack, the task that we take looks hard. It is. And at times it can seem disheartening. But it shouldn't be, because if we look back and we see that these problems have existed since the beginning of Waterville, we know that when we come together as a community, the city always has come back stronger than it was before. And when we see these new businesses and these new homeowners, those are the new John Kerrys and the new Sam Isbros, and their stories are going to be told to their children, and they interweave, and we all meld into one pot, because our destiny, success or fail, is together. And so I'm going to ask you tonight to join me. We have the resources here in Waterville for great success, both material and human, but we can't do anything if we don't come together and work together as a community. And the message I want to give you is this, is that when it's easy to get caught up in the political fray, because there's going to be some tough decisions to be made, but when we do, remember that these people that you disagree with, these are our friends and these are our neighbors. So don't listen to the voices that would rather agitate and perhaps come up with a harder solutions to problems. Don't listen to those who would rather have a quick and perhaps what they think is a funny line that divides us, rather than listening ears that can come up with a solution to the problems that we face. It's very easy to forget in the political fray sometimes that Waterville's not just a place on a map. It's a place that we all love. It's a place that we call home. It's a place that we take with us wherever we go. And in each and every one of our hearts, it remains a shining beacon here in Central Maine. I thank you all for coming, and I ask you all to join us in this great work, and God bless you all.
I join you all to join us for a light reception at the Rem Forum Room on the first floor here in the building. And our recessional is going to be led, again, by our Waterville High School Jazz Band Ensemble, led by the director, Sue Berry. Thank you all for being here. Happy New Year, and let's all work together to make Waterville the best place that it can be. Thank you. Can we have the lights up here? first New Year City Council meeting led by our new mayor, Nick Isgro, here on stage, as well as the reception down on the first floor. So feel free to stay. We have a few issues to take care of to start our new year, and then we will be dismissed to go down to the Wren building, first floor. So thank you, and thank you for being here.
Good evening. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. I tell you where the agendas are, but I don't think they're in here.
Actually, there are some on the edge of the stage.
Agendas are up here if anybody needs one on the edge of the stage. All items listed under unfinished business or new business are voted on separately. First, councilors will have an opportunity to speak for any comments or questions. Once councilors have had an opportunity to speak, citizens will be given an opportunity for comments or questions. Citizens must, I don't know where we will have them speak tonight because there's no podium. I guess you would just come down front and identify yourselves. Finally, the councilors will have another opportunity to speak or comment. And citizens who would like to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so at the end of the meeting, under the public comment section. Although we will start doing that. Okay, first thing, election of council chair.
I'd like to nominate Fred Stubbert.
Second.
That's all right.
Other nominations?
I'd like to nominate John O'Donnell.
Second.
So,
Any
you
other
take a vote?
Move the nomination.
Second.
Okay.
Well, would you like to call the roll for the first nominee, Fred Stubbert?
Okay.
Am I going to anyone? Councilor Stubbert? Yes, if you're voting for Fred Stubbert, say yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Councilor White?
Yes.
Councilor Winslow?
No.
Councilor Mayhew?
Yes.
Councilor O'Donnell?
No.
Councilor Boucher?
No.
Councilor Rancourt Thomas?
Yes.
The vote is 4 in favor and 3 opposed, and no passed.
Congratulations, Fred. Thank you.
Next up, we have community notes. Community notes section of the agenda is for public comment on items that are not listed on the agenda. Citizens who would like to speak are asked to, I guess in this case, come down to the front and identify themselves. And is there anyone who would wish to speak in the community notes?
I'm Heather Mayoral. It does say on here solid waste amendment, but this is something totally different. And I've already spoken to Mark Turner about this, but I just wanted it to be known. Friday, I did not put my recyclables out. It was not a recycling day, even though when they come this Friday, it's 21 days. We're on that 3-week cycle again. I explained to my neighbors today is not a recycling day. Lo and behold, the orange city truck comes by and picks up her recycling. They didn't pick up mine, so when I called, they said because a third of the city put them out. So does that mean every time we put our recycling out, that the city's gonna pick them up? And I know there was a long stretch, but it's not, this isn't the first time. It's not going to be the last time.
Thank you, Heather. Hopefully that is something that we can work out, because I can tell you my garage is like an episode of Hoarders right now after Christmas. It is, so we talk about working out the bugs in the program. Hopefully that's one of them that we'll be able to talk about as we go forward. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Heather, because I know you contacted me as your city councilor, and it's definitely the consistency is something that we definitely are aware of, and I think we can communicate to everyone better, and that's definitely something that I hope to work on.
Is the schedule for the new year on the website, Mike?
Yes, it is.
And when,
So are we setting our site was this week?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, you want Monday?
So, last week was not a regular recycling week, but in driving around, we noticed that a lot of people had put their recyclables out on the wrong week. So instead of just letting them have to bring them back in the garage or the house, put them out the following week, we made a decision to go out and do our best to pick them up on our own. We picked them up with our own trucks. And at that point, we didn't want to announce to the entire city that's what we're doing, because this week was the regular recycling week people were planning on. So we did it last week, I guess, to accommodate people as best we could. It might prove the old adage that no good deed goes unpunished. We tried to do what was best for those that had already put it out.
would anybody else like to speak for community notes?
Yes. Briefly.
Okay.
I just want to, as a new city councilor, I just want to say that I'm very grateful and humbled to be sitting up here with all these other councilors, and I wanted to, first of all, thank my faith in God, because I believe He provided an opportunity for me to be here, and my family, my wife, Pamela, who's sitting out there, and friends that prodded me to go ahead and take this venture on. Of course, thank everybody up here for allowing me to be a part. I'm looking forward to rolling up my sleeves and working with every one of you. Thank you very much.
Any other community notes? Next item is the approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion? Yes.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote. All those in favor?
You get used to it after.
The consent agenda has passed. Okay. Next is unfinished business. And looks like we have some orders.
Order 191-2014, an order providing for transfer of funds and appropriation from undesignated fund balance airport. Be it ordered that the finance director is hereby authorized to transfer $2,164 from the airport maintenance fund and $9,577 from the city's undesignated fund balance to the crosswind runway project. These transfers will use all of the remaining funds in the airport maintenance fund and close out the crosswind runway project.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Would you like to speak? Call for vote. All those in favor?
Motion for third and final reading by title only, please.
Second.
All those in favor?
An order providing for transfer of funds and appropriation from undesignated fund balance airport.
Move to adopt.
Second.
The third reading is by a roll call vote. If you'd like, I'll call the roll.
Please.
Council Stewart?
Yes.
Council White?
Yes.
Council Winslow?
Yes.
Council Mayhew?
Yes.
Council O'Donnell?
Yes.
Council Boucher?
Yes.
Council Rancourt Thomas?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
That's passed.
Yes.
Next on the agenda.
Order 192-2014, an order,
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
All those in favor?
an order providing for sale of city property 17 to 19 Regan Street, Waterville, Maine.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Would you like to speak? Roll call vote.
The second reading only requires a show of hands.
All those in favor?
Move for third and final reading by title only, please.
Second.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
An order providing for sale of city property 17 to 19 Beacon Street, Waterville, Maine.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Can I do the roll call vote?
Yes, thank you. Counselor Stebbert?
Yes.
Counselor White?
Yes.
Counselor Winslow?
Yes.
Counselor Mayhew?
Yes.
Counselor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Counselor Boucher?
Here.
Counselor
Yes.
Counselor Franco Thomas?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor and 0 opposed. Fantastic.
Next is an ordinance.
Ordinance 193-2014, an ordinance providing for amendments to solid waste ordinance. Be it enacted by the City Council of the City of Waterville, acting as municipal officers as follows, that the solid waste ordinance be amended as shown on the attached copy. The primary purpose of these amendments is to provide for a pay-as-you-throw system for trash disposal and a curbside single-stream recycling program.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, I will call for a vote.
All those in
All
favor?
those in favor? Is that all? All those opposed? Okay.
Motion for third and final reading by title only, please.
Second.
All those in favor?
All those in favor? Opposed?
An ordinance providing for amendments to solid waste ordinance.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote?
Counselor Stebbert?
No.
Counselor White?
Yes.
Counselor Winslow?
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Counselor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Counselor Boucher?
Yes.
Counselor Franco Thomas?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor and 1 opposed. It has passed.
New business. Resolution
15-2015, a resolution providing for appointing citizens to various boards and committees. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Waterville, acting as municipal officers as follows. Whereas citizens have been solicited to submit applications of interest to fill seats on various boards and committees, and whereas former Mayor Heck and Mayor Israel have conducted interviews with most applicants, now therefore be resolved that citizens are appointed to fill vacant seats on various boards and committees as detailed on the attached list.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor?
Well, I got a comment.
Yeah.
Mike, Civil Constable Mark and Robin Sellinger have recently closed shop and moved to Texas. Moved to Florida, I think, that's what it was.
I actually spoke with the Sellingers this week. Their house is under contract. They did let me know that they will be closing their business contingent upon the sale of their property. It may be a month or so. So they asked to be reappointed in the interim, and they'll let me know if they do sell, and then we will reappoint them for next year.
Because they aren't serving process for us now.
No.
Any other discussion? Call for vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Passed.
Thank you. We've asked the appointees to come this evening, and I will ask the house lights be turned up ever so slightly. Appointees are asked to please come when I call their name and stand in front of the orchestra pit facing the audience, if you will, and I'll come down and administer the oath down there, okay? Some folks have already been appointed in the office because they weren't able to make it tonight, so I'll call up the other folks that are on the list, and if they're here, I'll administer the oath. For the Airport Advisory Committee, Zachary Bickford, Michael Williams Sr., Charles Gigier. For the Board of Assessment Review, Catherine Taylor and Norman Vayu. Again, stand right on the other side, if you will, right where Zach is. Thank you. I don't want you to fall into the pit. Board of Zoning Appeals, Alan McCausland, Jennifer Philbrick Williams, Stephen Soul. Haynes Charity Relief, Mary Jo Carlson. Kennebec Regional Development Authority, Eric Poirier. Planning Board, Jessica LaLiberty. Public Library Trustees, Grace Peck. Janet Derlin King. Anna Virginia O'Keefe. Solid Waste Recycling Committee, Ross Mason. Stuart Silverstein. Ann Willett. TIP Advisory Committee, Chris McMorrow, Scott Jones, Eric Thomas. Voter Registration Appeals Board, Tammy Gould, Gary Mayhew. Waterville Housing Authority, Christina Lynn Cody. Thank you.
All raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name. I do swear. That I will faithfully discharge. To the best of my ability. The duties incumbent upon me. In the position. To which I am being appointed. Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, next up, we have the manager's report. Mike?
Thank you. I have just one item under the manager's report. I have to ask that the council would be amenable to schedule a workshop for a week from tonight, next Tuesday, the 13th. Time is your choosing. I was going to suggest 7, a regular time. Purpose would be to discuss our participation in the Central Maine Growth Council, the whole question about economic development, and what the city does going forward. You know, we approved the budget for economic development and dues, and we paid our first half year of dues in the growth council. And now the question before we pay our second half, I think it would be good to have an open discussion, workshop setting. There's no requirement for a vote at that time. Gives people the chance to ask questions, discuss it. Open that date, time, work. Hope the date will work. The time is.
Is 6 o'clock?
I'm sorry?
Is 6 o'clock okay? 6 p.m.?
It is with me. People prefer that.
Nathaniel, are you able to make us?
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
6 o'clock,
Nick?
next Tuesday night. All right, very good. Since we're partners in the Growth Council with Winslow and Fairfield, I'm going to take the liberty of inviting their managers here, because that's the union that we've had for 12 years now. So it's important for them to hear too, our discussion about economic development. So as long as that's all right, I'm going to invite them.
Sure.
That's the only item I have. The only other item that I would have is that Amanda has asked that we stay for just a couple of minutes and take some pictures before we head over to the reception, so we'll be very quick.
Is there anybody who would like public comment? All right, we've reached the end of the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.